Hi, and welcome to this edition of MyMetroTV.com Daybreak. First stop to the rest of the weekend. I'm Frederick Knight. Thank you for joining us this morning. Got a great show on tap for you. Coming up this morning, we're going to hear from Reverend Michael McLean from the National Council of Churches. We're going to talk about their Eco-Justice Initiative. Also coming up, we're going to bring you sights from the South Carolina Relic Room and Military Museum. Religion in the Civil War. Jamal Bates stops by later with Saturday Inspiration, plus we've got the MyMetroTV Movie Minute and more when we get underway with today's edition of MyMetroTV.com. Daybreak, first stop to the rest of the weekend. MetroTV.com had the opportunity to speak with Christina Johnson of the Relic Room about the Religion in Civil War exhibit.
So, Chrissy, tell us, why religion in the Civil War?
I think a lot of questions that we get was why was the Civil War important? Why should people care? And I think this is one of those topics that we can relate to nowadays. We can look back and we can read the scriptures that they were reading, listen to the hymns that they were singing on both sides of the war, and really get a feel of the individuals who were fighting. And when you look at today's culture, and if you go to our churches, it's the same types of scripture reading, same types of hymns that are being sung today. So there's a real connection point back to the past through this exhibit.
So tell us about some of the artifacts that you have on display here.
Okay. Well, two of our headline pieces, if you will, are the Stonewall Jackson Bible and the Robert E. Lee Bible. Stonewall Jackson, this is his family Bible. It's got all the births, deaths, baptism, that type of thing written in it, some in his own handwriting. And then we have the Robert E. Lee Bible that was given to him in the winter of 63-64, right after the defeat at Gettysburg. And the interesting thing about this is he's actually marked in it passages from the book of Job. So those are two really interesting Bibles that you can go see and kind of relate to two of the main figureheads for the religion in the Confederate Army. We also have a number of personal Bibles carried by South Carolina soldiers, including one that was struck by a bullet and the soldier himself was mortally wounded. And in addition to Bibles, we've got another lot of artifacts such as uniforms. We've got a chaplain's sword. We've got communion kits. We've got the crucifix that was carried by General George Pickett when he led Pickett's charge at the Battle of Gettysburg. So we've got a number of different artifacts, not just Bibles and religious tracts. One of the artifacts that we have on display is the pocket watch of General Maxcy Gregg, and it's an interesting piece because it actually intersects the story of three men's lives. Maxcy Gregg carried it through the war, and on his deathbed, he was actually fighting with General Stonewall Jackson. They came to terms with each other and had a deathbed reconciliation. Meanwhile, he's been working a lot with his enslaved body servant, William Rose, and Rose has been a very prominent feature in Maxcy Gregg's life. From the standpoint of almost serving as a chaplain for him and trying to remind him of God's promises. And he witnessed the deathbed conversion of General Maxcy Gregg with Stonewall Jackson. And right before his death, Maxcy Gregg gave this pocket watch to William Rose, and he carried it through the rest of his life.
How would one go about scheduling a visit if I wanted to bring, say, a church group, a school group here?
The best way to do that is to call our number 803-737-8095 or visit our website, and you can go ahead and make a visit either yourself or as a school group, and we can do guided curator-led tours of the exhibit if you request one for your group.
The South Carolina Relic Room and Military Museum presents Through Fiery Trials, Religion in the Civil War. Examine the experiences of Northerners and Southerners during the conflict, now through May 12th.